Hey there, hello there, and ho there. Welcome to Dr. T for October the 22nd. We are coming at you with Stage 1. Obviously, yeah, from here, from taking down Stage 1. So there is a rocket launcher and there is a mortar, and both of them have a pretty significant amount of hit points. However, if you roll right on up and just go straight for the HQ, it only has 100,000 hit points. You should be able to burn through that before either of those can burn through your heavies or tanks or whatever. If that is not the case, flare directly onto that rocket launcher, throw a stun down, hit the rocket launcher and the mortar with the one shock bomb, and everything will be fine. You'll be able to take them out and then switch over to the HQ and win the internet. Moving on to Stage 2. As you can see here, I dropped critters to show you where you should send your tanks, and then I sent my tanks to the closest place to the HQ I could, and then I blew up the HQ because that's my thing. That's what I do. We'll blow up HQs for food. Anyways, Stage 2 drops. Move on to Stage 3. Stage 3, very much the same deal. I am going to be taking a nice long walk with my tanks. Now this time I'm not dropping any critters because, well, there's nothing for the critters to work on. But that's alright, because once we get everything up right here to the flare, that shows you how long that walk is. Like, I said, a nice long walk. It took the entirety of a max level flare just to get the tanks up there. That's pretty intense. Anyways, second flare over inside the safe zone of that rocket launcher, and let your tanks start doing what your tanks do best. One shock will take out the 3 defenses up there that you gotta, worry about, I guess, sort of, ish. And then, once you've taken out those 3, just flare to almost like, I'd call it like 1 o'clock? 12:30 maybe? On the old HQ, and when you set up shop back there, you should be pretty safe. You may have to take out that cannon, depending on positioning. I don't know, if it's going to be a range or not. And then, of course, there will be a rocket launcher being annoying, but that's okay because it's just a rocket launcher. And if you've got some medics, you should be able to med your way through the rocket launcher. And if you don't have medics, then, throw some medkits or whatever with any GBE you have left over, and hopefully it'll all balance out in the long run. Okay, Stage 4, let's move in here. Taking out the boom cannon with a couple artillery shots, dropping in the bottom right-hand corner, and then going up the right-hand side. Holy smokes, that's annoying as shiza. Alright, now I flared onto the back cannon, and the reason for that is I wanted to pull everything in to nice close range so it could pick things off, because it's all cannons and sniper towers. Range has no difference on the damage it is capable of dealing, so I flared everything onto that back cannon just to make sure that my tanks chose those 3 defenses as their priority and didn't get distracted with goo or anything weird like that. Now, moving up the right-hand side, obviously, throw an artillery or barrage or something to get rid of the boom mines. If you got critters, by all means, throw critters, but, Anyways, and then once you get up into this position, you'll have a couple of rocket launchers that might be shooting at you, but that's about it. Nothing too scary. Now, of course, if you got the free GBE, you can blow them up. And then once they're blown up, you can start tossing critters around like it's going out of style, and hopefully speed up the death of the HQ for yourself and anyone watching you blow up Dr. T. Alright, moving on to Stage 5. Stage 5 this week, to be honest, I don't know. I feel like it's easier, but somehow not. Alright, and actually I'm going to do what I normally do on the really low-level stuff. I am flaring my tanks to a specific spot, but I'm throwing critters around that outside ring. Go around the outside ring for the extra GBE with your tanks, and then eventually you'll pull up right in front of the flamethrower slash rocket launcher slash mortar here, and you'll be able to start blowing those things up. Now, while your tanks are going around collecting all that free GBE, throw some hate down on top of the shock launcher that is now a crater, I guess. Or technically, sorry, that's the boom cannon that's a crater. There's also a shock launcher a little further down. This guy. Throw some hate at it, blow it up but good, and once it is down, you just have to clear out, I guess, technically a couple of defenses to open up room. Now watch out for those two cannons, and they just turned to my my tanks. Well, now it's happened a few minutes ago, but well, a New York minute ago. They will do some damage. Like, they are pretty buff at this point. So if you start dipping down, you see them turn, pull all of your tanks back up to the top, and just start working on the HQ from up in the safe zone. As long as you take out that one sniper tower that was there one day long ago, you may have seen me blow it up. As long as that sniper tower goes down, you should be safe where my tanks are sitting there. And worst case scenario, you can kind of spread them around along that top row if at all possible. Cool. Okay, stage 5 down, moving on to stage 6. And stage 6, actually, I don't know, I felt like it was kind of easy. But then again, you know, I was dropping full boats and going in it, so, and I know recently I've done it with, you know, considerably less, so maybe it wasn't that easy of a 6. I'd say it was an average 6. Like, if you normally are doing 6, you shouldn't have any problems, but if you're just shy sometimes on 6, you might have to struggle with this one. There are 2 boom cannons, obviously, bam bam, right in front of the HQ. Both of them have a buttload of hit points, around 16.5k, and both of them gotta die. And then, of course, yes, there is a shock launcher also chilling in between the beach and the HQ, and you gotta send your troops right in through the middle of it. Now, I did do, or choose a center path, I guess, because as you can see on my screen right there, I've got a boom cannon on either side. And if you go right up the middle, you can cut in between the ranges of the 2 of those and save yourselves some GBE attacks if you're really short on GBE, I guess. Like, you're still going to have to take out the 2 boom cannons that are right in front of the HQ. There's no getting around that. Like, it's got to happen. But at the very least, you don't have to take out the extra boom cannon on either side, because they're not, like, they're nestled in behind other defenses, which means they're not, like, nice and easy like the shock launcher where there was like 1 or 2 buildings in front of it, and you could just like roll up on that and bam. You can't really do that with those boom cannons, so I opted for going up the middle, because then you don't have to worry about it. Actually, there's 2 boom cannons on the left-hand side, so that makes it even worse. And you know, eventually you will get your win. It might be a little tougher than normal, you might have to throw a few extra heals, but you will get what you're going for. Alright, let's move on to stage 7, and stage 7 was hard this week. And I'm not saying like impossibly hard, like there have been some other Dr. T's, like Tropical Island Dr. T's, where it's just like, this is not possible with tanks, let's switch over to warriors now. It's not crazy like that, but it's still pretty freaking hard, I'm not gonna lie to you. So I decided to land in the bottom left-hand corner, and the reason for this is, as you can see, there are a mountain of defenses all just kind of chilling there, and they're fantastic for GBE fodder, which is super important for this attack because you're gonna need it. Actually, if you find yourself having some problems pulling this stage off, and you normally do 7, boost your gunboat energy, and suddenly everything will become attainable to you, and fairly quickly. And the reason I say that is because, as you can see, I've blown up like 2 shock launchers already. There are 3 boom cannons all within range of the HQ, all of which need to be blown up, all of which have 17,000 hit points. You know, like, there is a lot of pew-pewing. And on top of that, with 54% damage boost and a 236% hit point boost, everything hits pretty hard. Like, even the regular cannons and sniper towers start to really have an impact on the tanks. And it's taking the tanks forever to slowly grind their way through each and every building, one after another. Like, it starts to add up. One of the really nice things about the tanks is if you can get them moving quickly in a wave, and they can start almost like hopping over each other, excuse me, to spread the damage in between the 2 rows, and then the medics just kind of sit there healing away on everything, and everybody lives happily ever after. Once things start getting way too much hit points, you can't get that nice quick, I call it leapfrog transition, and you know, your lead tank starts taking some serious heat, and next thing you know, you're dropping a tank, you're a tank or 2 down, and it just kind of proceeds like that. Also, like, as you can, oh jeez, I just lost those critters. That was useless. I should have held out, waited for the extra shock. As you can see, once you clear out the 6 o'clock area, I guess, of the HQ, you may need to take out the extra cannon, but you should be able to set yourself up right there where my tanks are. And I'm just gonna smoke so that my medics can heal up. Everything gets centered. As you can see, the HQ has very few hit points left, and after a few seconds we'll get a nice uniform, super fancy shot from the tanks. 1 and 2 and done. Thanks very much, guys, for watching. Hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully this has been entertaining, and most importantly, hopefully you guys have a fantastic day.